What's up, everyone? Happy Friday morning, happy Thursday, I think sort of day, afternoon if you're over in America, and who knows what's going on in the UK. No, I'm not really sure what time it is over there. Today we're talking about something really incredible, and honestly, we really mean that. We have found a silver lining in this situation that was presented to us yesterday that is potentially going to give people around the world an instant income by leveraging something that we can offer them with an affiliate program. We're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about what we're doing to support our online tribe, and we're going to read at some motivational emails that we've been receiving. All that and more coming up after this. Hey everyone, in case we haven't met, my name's Rad Burmeister, that's my brother Yanni. We're the co-founders of Unity Gym and the co-creators of the UMS, the Unified Movement System, where we turn driven people into superhumans. And the way that we do that is that we've created a program that has a perfect balance between strength and flexibility and also cardio. If you want to know how we do it, the best thing that you can do is join our UMS Movement Mastermind on Facebook. It's a free group that you can join, or download one of our blueprints, the Flexibility Blueprint, the Strength Blueprint, or the Nutrition Blueprint. There's a link in the description of this video for all of them. Now, what I want to do, I'm going to really quickly tell you guys something, because a lot of people don't stay to the end of these shows, and this is a really important opportunity for you. Every Friday, we launch one of our programs at a really great deal, an amazing sale as a bundle, which is really, it's not really designed for us to make much money because we discount them so heavily. We usually knock off over 90% of what the value is, and they are valued at a very good price. People, give us 5-star Google reviews for them. You can check it out for yourself. And today we're doing the 18-minute stretching routine and a bunch of at-home stretching programs, because a lot of people have asked, how can I get flexible at home? And we're doing it for $29 US. It normally sells for $99 just for the 18-minute stretching routine. So the whole bundle is $396 worth of value. So if you want to be able to get really flexible and have a daily routine that you can do in your home, then grab this deal. It's going to go live as soon as this video goes out, in under 20 minutes. So I just want to let you guys know that, for those of you that don't stay to the end of the show. You can find it. The deal will go live in the UMS Movement Mastermind Facebook group. And before I hand over to Yanni, where he's going to talk about this amazing opportunity that we've got here.
Just quickly, on that note, there's been quite a few people who have bought that program this week because they were asking us what to do about flexibility training at home. Anyone who's paid full price for that program, if you hit us up in the last week, if you hit us up, we'll refund you the difference and give you the whole bundle. So so you didn't miss out.
So we're going to read an email here from one of our old members who hasn't been able to train with us for a couple of years, but who's been following our online stuff diligently. And Yanni, I haven't read this yet. Yanni gets these emails as a response to his daily emails, and he was really inspired by this, and he wanted me to read it. So we thought we'd share it with you guys.
Well, look, I've started an initiative where I print out one of many emails that I get every day for the boys to read, because they don't get to read. I read them all, usually at night, and I try and respond to every one of them within 24 hours or 48 hours. Sometimes it takes me a while because it builds up. There can be 50, 60 emails to respond to. But I've just started getting into a habit because of the times, and it's hard, man. It's hard for us. We got to find motivation so we can keep motivating you guys. And I draw a lot of motivation from these emails and the responses and the touch points and connection points from you guys. So I've decided I'm going to start printing one out and bringing it in for the boys to read every day. And I just thought yesterday, why don't we read these out to the tribe? Because it's just a cool idea.
So we're just going to read one, but Steve Kavanagh has just written a really beautiful message here. He said, I wanted to say that this morning I was feeling very demotivated. I heard yesterday that CASA, C-A-S-A, was not going to renew my pilot's license. It was because the live stream is like meeting a friend for a run or a workout. You don't want to stand them up. That's the reason why I got out of bed and went into my home gym, garage my wife calls it, thank you. A recorded video would not have done it for me. Thanks, Steve. That's really nice of you, brother.
Yeah,
and I'm so happy that, that we're inspiring you.
Absolutely. It's a big deal that, for Rad to do those workouts, because as I've said before, it's not like he would usually train, and
they're not easy for me.
And it's not easy for him, he really draws inspiration from you guys, and he draws motivation from you guys. So right back at you, Steve. for sending that love. That's exactly what we need, and that's exactly what Rad needs. That's going to fuel him to put 110% in next week again.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right. So here we go. Here's the email that
Without
we
naming any
received.
names,
Without naming
'cause
any names.
they haven't given us permission.
This is to Yanni. Yo, brother. Been reading your posts and wanted to drop you a line. Keep your head up. You guys are well placed to blast through this period. Keep your focus. You have an opportunity to explode your online position. People need you in their lives right now way more than they needed you last week in the gym. Your content is incredible. Your real value is way beyond fitness, lifestyle, mental health, self-development, etc. And it is clear that it genuinely comes from your heart. Keep it coming and make sure everyone's sharing it. You're on the edge of something. Unity could be looking very different when this is all over. And I wanted to show some gratitude. Those pods you did brought enormous value to me, podcast is talking about. I listened to them over and over. It completely changed my routine based on the stuff you talked about. Now I get up at 4:55 a.m., meditate, which like you, I am struggling with, but I am working through it. Exercise before breakfast. I never believed I could move 100 kilograms before 6 a.m. Wrote out a full timetable from 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. on a 2-week rotation. Blocked out bedtime, BD, is he saying? Blocked out BD,
sure.
not sure what that is. Writing content, family time. Now I stick my phone
Diary,
in the corner of the room with a ring on only and all notifications off. I even do gratitude just before I go to sleep. I have even progressed with goals. I realize now that I struggle to imagine myself in a better position than I'm in, but I'm understanding that decisions I made yesterday don't need to be the decisions I make today, so I'm moving forward. All this is based on tips I got from you, brother. Thank you. Love to Kalisha and the boys. You guys are going to crush it. How good is that? That's one of our members who was one of my students. He used to train in the classes that I taught, and he was one of our, honestly, one of the greatest legends in the gym. He went from coming in the gym being afraid of doing weights because of an old injury that he had. He's in his 40s now, an injury that he had when he was in his 20s deadlifting, and he looked at our gym and said, I don't think this gym is right for me. I can't really lift weights anymore, and I convinced him. And a year later, he was clean and jerking his own body weight. He's actually the only member that we've ever successfully trained in Olympic weightlifting because he had all the prerequisites. He had the right flexibility, the right strength, and the right coordination, and he overcame chronic back pain to be able to, and muscle ups, handstands, flexible, and then to hear that.
And that's in response to I assume in response to the motivation stuff we do at the start of every year. You can catch it on the podcast. It would be the first 10 episodes or so on the the Sound of Movement podcast.
Can I just do a shout out here? I want to ask something here. You have no idea how much something like that makes Richard, Yanni, and me realize that we're doing the right thing. Because if it wasn't for things like this, you don't understand where we're at. We're in a room here talking to a camera, we've got a little screen here showing us some stuff on Facebook, but it's stuff like that really makes us realize that what we're doing is appreciated, and it fires us up to keep going, because I can tell you right now, we are coaches and we motivate people, but we have really low days sometimes. Just like anybody else, we're humans, and we have days where, Yanni has to pull me out of the dumps or vice versa. We have days where we have to go home early because we just can't do this stuff. We can't talk to a camera because we feel down, just like anybody else. And it's stuff like that really motivates us and keeps us going. And I would ask, if anybody's watching this, if you've got a similar story, I would ask if you could write it into a Google review, something that not only we can share with the world, but that's going to help us as well.
Absolutely.
God, it would mean so much to us right now if we could get some of that love, so that we really know, while our gym's closed, this uncertainty, that we know that what we're doing is valued, and that we can help people with. It would really, really help us.
Yeah, absolutely. Phil White's just jumped on. Thank you, brother, and shared the link. It's the first 8 episodes of the Sound of Movement podcast. And I want to give a huge shout out to Phil. He rebirthed that podcast this year. We had started it off a year or so ago, but it just got shelved into thrown into the too hard basket, because to rip the audio stream from these videos and then really touch it up and then produce it into a podcast, it was just too much for for myself to do with everything else I'm doing. And Phil sort of just dived on it this year, and he's really turned it into something special. And that's a testament to that. Our friend there is digesting the content through the podcast, as are many people. It's getting a lot of listens now. It's growing quite rapidly. And yeah, brother Phil, thank you. I know he's not sitting here at the desk right now. He's self-quarantined because for those of you who don't know, in the Movement Mastermind, his partner is an ED doctor at one of the biggest hospitals here in Sydney, and she's no doubt either has been or going to be exposed to the coronavirus. And Phil made a call, because he is with her every day, every night when she's not on shift, that he would quarantine himself to his apartment, because he just didn't want to spread what he was likely going to be exposed to there. So big one, mate. Thank you very much. We appreciate that more than you can possibly imagine, and obviously so do our members. And I'm talking to Phil there because he's on the live stream.
I'm going to read out Greg's comment, because it's going to lead into what you want to talk about, Yanni. So Greg Gillespie, one of our valued members at Unity Gym. Good morning, Greg. Morning, Tanya, as well. Greg has said, morning guys. Hey, Yanni Burmeister, great email last night. Opportunity in every situation. It's all a matter of perspective, and the best part for everyone, perspective is a choice. That's so true, brother.
And that's
so, Yanni,
great that you've said that, because that's what we're talking about today. Listen, I'll fill you in on a little bit of a backstory there, which I shared in that email. Out of the blue, we got connected. We had a friend of ours reach out and connect with us, and he's a great friend. He's been on the podcast a couple of times, Ben Pekulski, and we love him dearly. And he's one of those guys that every single time you sit down with this guy, he shares insight, and you feel enlightened. Do you get that?
Oh man, he's a weapon. He's unreal, and it's funny because he's younger than me, and it always blows me out because the way he talks, I feel like I'm talking to an older, wiser person.
Yeah.
When I found out that he was 4 or 5 years younger than me, I was like, oh wow. But yeah, he's unreal.
And
he's so cool.
And we got a lot of time for Ben, and he just sort of reached out and connected with us, and made a suggestion that I had thought about before, but and I'd even offered to a few of my colleagues around the country, but we never really followed it up. We never did much about it. But he had, like many people, our brother-in-law. I was on the phone to my sister recently, and my her partner, my brother-in-law, they got 2 young kids. They got an 8-month-old and a 3-year-old at home. They're battling. They've only got one income, and he was a personal trainer at a big box gym here in Sydney, a franchise trainer. And when gyms got locked down, he's got nothing else to fall back on. He relies on his face-to-face income. He doesn't have the infrastructure of an online program like we do set up, and these guys, they're spending their day queuing up in the welfare queues to try and get some form of an income to pay their rent. My sister's on the phone all day trying to get some to stall rent payments and electricity, and this is happening all around the world. And my friend said, you guys have you're in such a good position because you've spent so much time and effort and a lot of money last year, over $250,000 last year, trying to figure out how to get things working online. Because I'm quite fortunate, because
we spent $350,000 on Facebook advertising last year trying to figure out how to do this online program, and we ended up, at the end of that, we'd grown our audience and grown our list, but we ended up with an almost $80,000.
No, not almost, $82,000
American Express bill. So we made, for every dollar we spent, we made back about 95 or 96 cents. But man, we just kept reinvesting.
We just persevered and kept going with it. And
it
was hard. It took a lot of our time. We made big sacrifices, but it's lucky because I could foresee something happening in the economy. Many investors have been seeing this for a while. A lot of the, if you're into data science, a lot of the data science points were signaling red flags. And I just said to the boys, we got to diversify our revenue streams, and we got to try and protect ourselves for this. And we're certainly not there yet, but we're well on the way, and we're well and truly we're 18 months ahead of the majority of people, and over $250,000 ahead in testing.
You know, for all your unbelievable writing skills and email abilities, you are the worst at telling stories. We've both read a book where they outline the best way to tell a story to keep people's attention, and you are meant to start with the end so people know what you're talking about. You haven't even gotten to the point in all that. This is how the story should have gone. What we're about to do is tell you guys how we can help people around the world make an income with an affiliate program by selling our programs and making 50% of the money for themselves. Here's how I'm going to tell you how to do that. But you've waffled on that whole time and people still don't know what you're bloody talking about. So I'm going to take over for a sec. So an affiliate program normally works that the people that have created the content and have done all the work and spent the $350,000 on advertising to figure out how to make it work, they usually take 80, 85, 90% and they offer 10 or 15%. And that's still an incentivized thing for someone to do, because if someone can sell, 1,000 units of something that sells for $100 and make $15 off each unit, they make $15,000, But we're going well above and beyond that. We have decided that we are not doing this as a greedy thing. We want to do this to empower other people and to make up people around the world, fitness professionals, personal trainers, healthcare professionals, physiotherapists, chiros, osteos, and anyone that's completely lost their income. We want them to look at this and go, oh my God, I could make some real money from this. And so we're splitting it down the middle, 50-50. Anybody that wants to do this...
Just trying to make it a win-win. But this is not the point, okay? The point of this is that none of that
How much better was my way of telling that story?
None of that would have been... would have even been realised, the opportunity for both sides of this wouldn't have been realised if this hadn't happened and if the mindset wasn't right. Our friend who connected with us, he is an insanely positive, spiritual, and I'd go so far as to say enlightened person, and
he sure
and he, for him to sort of make that connection and go, hey, you guys should be doing this, I would be all over it. Would you consider it? Da 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 da. He's out there hustling, and coming up with ideas. If I was in a really negative space, I wouldn't have seen the opportunity. I would have just seen more work, or no, it's never going to work. I would have been pessimistic, and we would have probably shunned it.
Yeah.
But because we work so hard to cultivate a strong mindset, and as Rad said, you have bad days. Of course, you have bad days. I had one this week. But 4 out of 5 days were really extremely positive, because we work so hard to do this. This is really, really important for you guys to understand. Mindset is everything. You've got to do something to keep your mindset strong, because there is positive in this, And for those of you who go, I know there's a lot of trainers, there's a lot of healthcare professionals. You don't even have to be a healthcare professional to see opportunity or to get an opportunity here. If you are struggling financially, if you've just lost your means to an income, then we're saying, jump on this, guys. Reach out to us, connect with us, shoot us an email, and we'll set this up for you. We're ready to go. The software that we've set up our entire infrastructure on is set up to do this. We've just never used it before.
But not only that, normally when people do these things, right, this is always like this big sales pitch, and then at the end there's you just need to an upfront investment of $999 and then, commit to 12 months or whatever. That's not what we're doing here at all. What we're saying is, if you want to be a part of this, we've got the programs. People love them. They're selling. And we have a small reach compared to some people. If you're a fitness professional or somebody that's got a little bit of social reach, like through an Instagram page or Facebook or YouTube or whatever, and you've lost your income, this is literally us saying we're going to give you a URL that if anybody clicks on that URL, it'll tag them and it'll pixel them, so that if they buy any of our programs from that, we know that it was from you, or our software knows that it was from you, and whatever they buy, half of it goes for you. You don't have to build funnels. You don't have to do ads. You don't have to learn how to do anything. All you literally have to do...
You don't have to sell. You don't have to do anything.
If you're somebody... Because I know that on this group, we've got a lot of fitness professionals on this group. if you're somebody that's got 10,000, 20, 50, 100,000 people on Instagram, whatever it is.
But you don't even need that. You're putting up a wall or a
Yeah,
barrier
fair
of
enough.
entry for
Fair
people. You don't need to. If you're someone who has time now and wants to hustle a little bit and just talk about stuff, rather than just going, oh, here's a social share, I'm doing this workout, you can send them to the program or product through a link and say, guys, grab this, da-da-da-da-da. I mean, be transparent. Say, I've lost my job and these guys are giving me an opportunity to earn an income,
And everyone around the world is asking the same question right now. What's a good at-home workout? How can I do at-home workouts? So,
I mean, this is people are spending my brother-in-law spent 4 hours in a welfare queue trying to get on the dole, trying to get some of the government assistance because he literally went from a good income to zero overnight, This is you could have sat there posting about this stuff for 4 hours and, potentially made your week's income. Like, it's very powerful, man. And this is what we're doing here is removing the barrier of entry for most people because I know how hard this was for us to get set up. It was 18 months of absolute grinding and a lot of failure along the way. And Rad and I have a very high risk profile where, most people when they see an $80,000 Amex bill would have freaked out. We're like, yeah, bring it. We don't care. We know that this is going to work out in the long run, and we just keep hustling, And most people wouldn't do that. Most people wouldn't go that far. They would have failed. They would have stopped because they would have freaked out way before that. So we're removing all of that for you. You don't have to go through the pain. All you got to do is reach out and say, "Yep, I'm in." And shelve your ego, shelve whatever it is that you're holding on to. Oh, I'm not going to be promoting my own workout. Oh, bugger that. I'm going to try and grind it. Now's not the time for that if you've lost your income, man. If you got kids at home like our family did.
Man, we were talking to a good friend of ours, Daniel Vadnal from Fitness FAQs the other day, about this whole situation, who's also got a really great online training program series. And we were talking about the amount of work that it took both of us to set up and get ready like this, and how every trainer is sort of just jumping on and trying to set up an online program now. And man, it would be so hard. It would be impossible.
It's impossible. It's not possible. It's not possible
Especially
to substitute the income you were making from a gym with starting a brand new online presence right now. I'm telling you right now, it's not possible. Yeah. It may work out for you in the long run if you persevere, if you somehow survive. But what we're doing right now is giving you an opportunity to do it instantly. And yeah, you might just you might do that, substitute your income, then learn from what we've done, and then take those lessons and get your own online brand going eventually. And that's totally cool. We get that. Some people will do that. Some people will may even take advantage of it and completely plagiarize what we're doing. We're not really doing it because we're trying to make more money. We're doing it because we saw an opportunity to help people, and that's what we do. That's our purpose. Our purpose is to help people, and and we're trying to. Phil had this great tagline: #SpreadViralFitness. Man, this takes it to a whole nother level, because it's not just us trying to get people moving. Now we're actually we're empowering the entire world's population to get people moving and to make an income off that. And I just think, holy crap, that is that's what it's all about, starting a movement, you know.
And if anyone wants to do it, if anyone's watching this, and I've already had a bunch of people reach out to me from the Instagram stories post I did yesterday, just send me an email, rad@unitygym.com, and just write interested, want to be a part of this, and
we'll get you set up.
It's actually so simple. All I've got to do is enter your details into our system, which creates a unique link for you and give it to you, and you start pushing people to that link saying, hey, and then, we'll talk about it, what you can do. We'll support you with some ideas of how you can promote it to your social
depending on whether people decide to take up the offer, then we will.
This is it's funny. There's somebody that we follow that, if you're not an entrepreneur, you're probably not that interested in him, but it's Gary Vaynerchuk. And he gives away these literal gold nuggets that for us, we've taken so much on board of his advice, which has created this whole podcast. Everything that you see about us doing all this online stuff is from him. But when he does these live talks, he says to you, he says, you know the craziest thing about this? And he's talking to a room of thousands of people. He goes, I'm literally holding you the golden goose and saying, here, take it out of my hands. And probably less than 1 out of 100 people are actually going to take it. And people laugh. And he goes, I'm fucking serious. He goes, you're all listening to me. I'm telling you what to do. But only about 1 out of 100 are going to actually go away and do this stuff.
Yeah.
And it's funny. That's probably what's going to happen here. There's probably so many people that are watching this that could actually do it. But those of you that actually do this and go, oh my God, this is an opportunity. If you're sitting at home and you've lost your income and you've got nothing to do,
well, it's about mindset. The first thing that has to happen is you have to shift your mindset, because you're not going to see the opportunity presented in front of you if you've got the wrong mindset right now. Your ego is going to be there trying to deflect, distort. It's going to try and protect you. It's going to say, this is ridiculous. It'd be too much work, But the reality is that it's just an opportunity, and you're either going to see it or you're not going to see it. And we would feel amazing if we were able to help even one person, man. Well, we're already helping one person because the person that reached out to us is jumping on it. But I'm trying my hardest to get my brother-in-law to take it on. And after the call yesterday, they were really interested. Whether they actually do something about it or not is a different story. And it's the same. The same goes for everyone else. The opportunity's there. We're going to set this up. We're going to make sure that this Gary Steve Cavanagh, Gary Vaynerchuk.
If you go to YouTube and type in Gary V-E-E, Gary V, you will find him.
Yeah, his name's Gary Vaynerchuk. Gary Vaynerchuk.
One of the most, for us, he's one of the biggest inspirations that's got us to where we are. By a long shot, by a country mile, that guy is at the top in top 5 inspirations for us.
Because Gary's had such a big influence. I met him in 2015 at a conference in Las Vegas, and that completely changed our trajectory and changed our life. And since he's had such a big influence, like everything we do is really a byproduct of Gary. And whenever someone says that they've never heard of him, it always kind of surprises me. I'm like,
what?
But the same thing happened when I was traveling to this conference, and everyone was just raving about this keynote speaker that we were going to hang out with for a couple of days. And going, oh my God, I can't believe we're going to get to work with Gary Vee. And this was a small mastermind business group I was in, of only about 50 people at the time. I was like, who the hell is this guy? And everyone's like, are you kidding me? You're an entrepreneur and you don't know who Gary Vee is?
Like
oh
Niles,
my God.
Linked his YouTube page there, or
it's
a video.
just, it's just awesome. Anyway.
Well, that's it, yeah? We got to go.
Yeah, guys, mindset.
We've got a lot to do today.
Yeah, I need you guys to embrace this. As I think it was Steve at the front there, or who was it? Morning, guys. No, Greg. Greg Gillespie has made a point here after reading my email that actually went out late. I forgot to send it last night or yesterday. Went out this morning. You're not going to see opportunities arise if you're in the wrong mindset. And it's so easy to sink into a deep funk on your couch, binging Netflix and eating junk food. Or if you go by the government's announcement yesterday to announce that bottle shops are considered essential businesses and won't be closing in the lockdown. If you just drink yourself into a stupor, or as one of our guys on the live stream said this morning, smoke yourself into a stupor, or smoking weed all day, you're not going to see these opportunities, and you're going to become a statistic, an unemployed statistic. So work on your mindset, guys. It should start with the daily exercise. It should continue with what we talk about in here. Read the content that I'm sending out. Just digest as much positivity as possible to offset how much of the negative news you're taking in, and you'll be right. We got this.
All right, it's past 9. I want to go and smoke some weed and have a beer.
By that he means continue working out with Richard and I. We'll see you all soon, guys. This is a weekend for us, so we're signing out till
18-minute
Monday.
stretching routines going live straight away. I'm going to put a post on the UMS Movement Mastermind right now. If you want a kick-ass set of at-home stretching routines that are amazing for beginners and advanced people. We've got so many beginners that love it, but we've also got people that are dancers and yoga masters that say that they got a hell of a lot out of it.
Yeah.
Jump on, grab it.
And I'm going to be writing about it in just a sec as well in my email. And then I'm going to get out there and train. It's deadlift day. Take care,
See you soon,
guys.
everyone.
We are the gym that teaches people how to move instead of just exercise, because we believe that health is about performance, not just body image.